what would you say was the hardest part to develop in Little Big Planet?
Well, that's a very good question. I think I'm just deciding what story to tell here.
Right.
I don't think there was any particularly standout. I think finishing it was hard. I think just shipping it, growing a company, doing all of that on a new platform, blah, blah, blah. All of that was hard. So Little Big Planet in general was a very rewarding, but also extremely difficult period of, I don't remember, but one thing, so basically, one thing that was tricky was that PlayStation Network was new, PlayStation 3 was new, Little Big Planet was new, company was new, the idea of user-only content was pretty new, certainly in the game, so on and so forth. So everything was new. So basically, if you can imagine, it's like fog of war. It's like you're constantly surrounded by fog of war, and every aspect of Little Big Planet, we didn't really know what was lying just in front of us, and we just like blindly and bravely and stupidly sometimes just like plowed forwards. And one of the ones that was most tricky was that when you had a disagreement, and it's not that the other person was in bad faith or that they were wrong. It's just that you're both in the fog of war and you have a disagreement. And you're like, where do you go? And at the time, and I've shared this with like developer friends, but I think it's long enough ago that it no longer relates at all to anything to do with what goes on. So it's old enough history that I can recount the story. It's to do with servers. And so basically we were an unknown studio to Sony. Like, we experienced people, but we had never shipped a game. And they had an online technology group that had created, and they were, by the way, the OTGs I know were amazing through the years. I have to give them a shout out. They basically maintained the Little Big Planet servers all the way through 1, 2, 3 and beyond. They're an amazing group, and they did a lot of selfless work, like maintaining this thing. But at the earliest version of OTG, they hadn't shipped a lot of games either online, and the best game they'd shipped, I believe, was MLB. Major League Baseball had an online server. And so they said to us, we would like you to use the code of MLB online, whatever it was called at the time, as the starting point for Little Big Planet servers. And I was like, okay, fine, can I have the code? And it's like, no, the code is too complicated for you to compile. So we will hold on to the code in the servers, and we will hold on to the database, and you will just get an API that you can call from the PlayStation to do whatever you need to do. And it's like, well, Little Big Planet's not really very much like a Major League Baseball game. So how's that going to work? And they're like, well, you'll just have to figure it out. And we won't change any of the databases, and we won't change any of the tables.